Good afternoon and a very warm welcome to KTN Live at 1. I'm Sophia Wanuna. Now, there is tension in Vihiga. Supporters of Prime Minister Raila Odinga and Musalia Mudavadi come face to face at the funeral service of the father of Nairobi Mayor George Aladwa. Reports indicate that supporters of the two politicians engaged in a shouting match this morning when Mudavadi arrived at the funeral service. Mudavadi has since left the venue while Raila is expected to arrive later. Now, Standard newspaper reporter Peter Atsiaya now joins us on the phone with the details. Over to you, Peter.
Hi, good afternoon. How are you?
Head.
Thank you.
Peter, bring us up to speed with what's going on at the funeral of Aladwa's father.
Okay, at the moment, the funeral mourners are charged here, and we are experiencing supporters of Prime Minister Raila Odinga and those of his deputy Musalia Mudavadi engaged in an exchange, in a shouting match. And this has really turned the funeral into a battleground between the two supporters of the two rival leaders.
All right. Are there other leaders that are also present, and is the funeral going on as planned?
Yeah, the funeral is going on, but about an hour ago, when the Deputy Prime Minister Musalia Mudavadi arrived, he was received by his supporters who chanted UDF in his support. But things turned bad when he was given an opportunity to speak. And a section of supporters of the Prime Minister Raila Odinga, who are believed to have accompanied Mayor Aladwa from Nairobi, started shouting down the Deputy Prime Minister and chanting ODM, ODM slogans. And this made local people who are basically supporters of Mudavadi to respond and started shouting down those who are chanting ODM, and this led to shouts of ODM, UDF, ODM, UDF, thereby disrupting the funeral for several minutes.
All right, and as we speak, where is Raila Odinga, where is Musalia Mudavadi? I mean, they were present, are they still at the funeral?
No, after the dust came down, Mudavadi managed to speak and he left because he said he has another funeral in Shinyalu. Then from Shinyalu in Kakamega County, he'll proceed to Trans Nzoia County, where he's going also to attend another funeral. But from the look of things here, I think it is a deliberate move by the two rivals not to meet at this funeral at the same time, because the Prime Minister has decided to start at this funeral in Trans Nzoia, then he'll come to the funeral in Sabata, and Mudavadi decided to start at the funeral in Sabata here. So as Mudavadi will be going to Trans Nzoia, I think the Prime Minister will be coming to Sabata. So this is a deliberate move by the two leaders not to meet at this funeral, maybe because of to avoid a clash by their supporters or a showdown. So at the moment now, the funeral is going on smoothly. Okay.
What about the mood of the ground right now? It's a funeral, of course, but how would you say the mood is, saying that there were youth before, of course, chanting the slogans? How is the mood now?
Okay, now I can say now things are low, a bit low. It is not as charged as it was when Mudavadi was around. But what I can say is that whenever any leader now arrives, local people here now have overpowered the ODM supporters. And whenever any leader arrives here, they start chanting UDF slogans and in support of Musalia Mudavadi. But at the moment, things are going on smoothly. The funeral is going on smoothly, and the local leaders, that is the leaders that we are seeing here, led by James Orengo, Otieno Kajwang from Raila's side, but MPs from Mudavadi's side are led by Dr. Boni Halwale. But at the moment, I can say things are going on fine.
All right, thank you very much, Peter Atia. We'll be checking in with you a little bit later. Thank you so much for that update. That's Peter Atia, who's a senior reporter, Standard Group. Will, of course, keep you up to date with more information on that developing story, even as the details come in to us. Now, Head of Civil Service Francis KIMEMIA has suspended the entire National Hospital Insurance Board Fund Board, and its Chief Executive Officer, KIMEMIA, has appointed an interim board at the Insurance Fund as the intrigues rocking the civil servant medical scheme continues. This follows the move by the Central Organization of Trade Unions and the non-governmental organization to withdraw their members from the board. Now we'll be bringing you details of that story shortly. The country has lost 40 people in the last month due to the ongoing rains which have continued to pound parts of the country. This according to Special Programs Permanent Secretary Andrew Mondo, who says 2 miners from Suba are still missing after having been swept away by floods in RONGAI. 2 bodies have been recovered in the flooded area, with residents fearing that the ongoing rains could damage their houses. It has also emerged that 2 more people have died following a landslide in Mboni.
In the last month, Mondo reports 1,624 households have been displaced, while 44 people have lost their lives. 3 more have today been reported dead owing to floods in RONGAI. This owing to floods brought about by heavy rains which continue to pound parts of the country.
Wale wamekufa sasa ni 44. Wale wameshaumia ni 86. Wale ambao hawajapatikana, tulipoteza watoto wawili huko Suba, hawajapatikana.
The 1,700 IDP families remaining in camps are now bearing the brunt of the change of season. Mondo has blamed the heavy rains for the delay in resettling them, but he asserted that the government will only resettle IDPs who are registered by 31st December 2008. All forest evictees, totaling 5,710, will also benefit from the exercise, where each will get 2¼ acres. Kibera IDPs, a section of whom have returned from Uganda, will only receive food, as they already received 10,000 shillings with which to rebuild their lives afresh.
Walikuwa familia 640. Kwa hivyo familia karibu 400 zimerudi. Wako Kenya na wanafanya biashara zao na ukulima wao.
Mondo was addressing IDPs from various camps in Maimahio, Naivasha during a fact-finding mission on the effects of the ongoing rains. Wilkerson Yabwa, KTN Live at 1.
Wiper Democratic Party has moved to allay fears that it is being sidelined in the G7 alliance. Party Chairman Samuel POGHISIO defended his party leader and Vice President Kalonzo Musyoka from claims the alliance is trying to edge him out. The G7 is an amorphous grouping of politicians opposed to Prime Minister Raila Odinga. The group's leaders include Eldoret North MP William Ruto, Deputy Prime Minister Uhuru Kenyatta, and Constitutional Affairs Minister Eugene Wamalwa. POGHISIO claimed that Deputy Prime Minister Musalia Mudavadi and former Tourism Minister Najib Balala could be headed to the G7 alliance.
ODM, when Balala left ODM, when all these Pentagon people left ODM, we think they're headed towards, and we encourage them, that now that they have left ODM, you're coming to join the G7 stream. There are only 2 main streams. And if you're coming to join the G7 stream, you're welcome. That's what we're encouraging them. And I was saying to the people who are on the losing side of this, that they should not be mad about it. Okay? Be gentlemen about it, because you never know which way things will go. Okay? So I've seen attacks aimed at saying MUDAVADI should resign from being Deputy Prime Minister, and that's a no-no.
The country is now grappling with a shortfall of 9,200 midwives, the Kenya Midwives Association has revealed. Speaking during the 17th Annual Midwives Scientific Conference held at a Kakamega Hotel, the organization chairperson Luisa Muteti said the body currently has only 500 members who cannot serve the entire country. She warned that Kenya may fail to achieve the 2015 Millennium Development Goals as well as Vision 2030 unless more skilled birth attendants are employed. She made the remarks at the conference whose theme was Midwives Improving Women and Children's Health in Kenya.
Registered midwives, we can say they are about 35, but the members now are 500. We need 9,200 midwives. And I'm not talking of nurses. I'm talking of midwives. People are going to rotate between MCH, labor ward, postnatal ward, antenatal ward, newborn unit. Because after I have got a baby who is asphyxiated, you know the baby can have the cord around the neck.
To news in the region now, Tanzania's President Jakaya Kikwete has sacked 6 ministers in a reshuffle widely expected due to growing public and opposition discontent over graft in government. Kikwete has been under pressure to deal with the scandal following a report by a body overseeing public finances. The inspector of the government's accounts noted the rampant misuse of funds in at least 7 ministries. The opposition had declared last month that it planned to put forward a vote of no confidence in Prime Minister Mzengo Pinda over a failure to tackle graft in government, as highlighted in a report with the aim of forcing Kikwete to dissolve cabinet. The ministers who have been dropped from cabinet all hold high-profile portfolios: finance, energy, tourism, trade, transport and health. All right, let's now go back to the story we promised you earlier. Head of a civil service, Francis KIMEMIA, has suspended the entire National Hospital Insurance Fund Board and its chief executive officer. KIMEMIA is to appoint an interim board at the insurance fund as the intrigues rocking the civil servant medical scheme continue. This follows the move by the Central Organization of Trade Unions and the non-governmental organization to withdraw their members from the board.
The drama surrounding the civil servant medical scheme continues to deepen with allegations of bribery and massive corruption. The government has cracked the whip at NHIF, sending the whole board packing. In an effort to sanitize the health insurance institution, acting head of civil service Francis KIMEMIA has suspended all the 14 NHIF board members, including CEO Richard Kirich. KIMEMIA is to appoint a caretaker team as investigations on fraudulent payouts to phantom clinics continue. KIMEMIA pulls the rug under Medical Services Minister Professor Anyang' Nyong'o, who had rescinded board's chair Richard Muga's sacking of CEO Richard Kirich and 4 other senior staff. NHIF is under scrutiny for raising employees' monthly contribution from 320 shillings per month to up to 500 to 2,000 shillings per month, and yet corruption is dogging its previous payments.
Waziri alikwenda kwa kasi kumregesha kitini na kumsimamisha mwenyekiti wa hazina hiyo, na hilo jambo linaonyesha kwamba hafanyi hivyo waziri kwa manufaa ya wafanyikazi.
The medical scheme has divided the Ministry of Medical Services, with Assistant Minister Kazungu Kambi clashing with his boss Professor Anyang' Nyong'o over the management of the board.
I'd rather be alone than to be a team which is corrupt. So first they should explain to us who authorized for that wiring to ghost clinics, and the culprits are known.
Further revelations indicate NHIF awarded huge sums of money to ghost medical service providers. The lion's share of the civil servants medical scheme awarded to Meridian and Clinic Health chains, who together secured 42.5%. The irony is, while Meridian was awarded 116 million shillings and Clinics 202 million shillings, Kenyatta National Hospital, the largest referral hospital in the country, was awarded a meager 1 million shillings. Sam Ogina, KTN Live at 1.
Thank you, Sam, for that report. Now, residents of Taita Taveta are raising alarm over the slow pace of the reconstruction of the MWATATE road. Months after the contract was awarded, little has been done on the road. Residents say that despite numerous warnings by the roads minister, Franklin Bett, work on the road appears stagnant. Esther Kahumbi now reports from Taita Taveta.
For years, residents and businessmen plying the MWATATE route watched the Class A23 road deteriorate. Efforts to cover the fast deepening potholes proved futile. All this while, their cries to have the road rehabilitated went unheard. A fed-up community then took to the streets, the only way they knew how, to get the attention of the government. Eventually, their cry was heard. The 26-kilometer road was to receive a facelift, a 2.3 billion shillings reconstruction contract awarded to Kundan Singh Construction Limited. But 15 months after the commencement of that reconstruction, very little appears to have been done. Apart from a diversion, work on the actual road remains stagnant.
Tuliahidiwa kwamba hii barabara inatengenezwa. Imechukua muda mrefu sana, bado iko mbaya sana.
Natengeneza mara wanasimama. Sasa unashindwa kwa nini wanasimama? Wanasema wiki hii tutaingiza simiti, wiki hii tutaingiza lami, wiki hii tutaingiza simiti. Imekuwa ni hivyo magari mara yanakuja, mara unakuta mengine yanaenda.
2 random checks by the roads minister Franklin Bett proved the same.
With a 90-day ultimatum given by the roads minister fast approaching, the work progress on this road shows very little, if any, promise of beating that deadline. If anything, the tarmac on the old pothole road remains intact on the most part.
Zile kazi zinazofanywa kwenye barabara hii ni kazi ambazo zinazidi kutuondoa kwenye tamaa ya kuwa kwamba tatizo la barabara ambalo limetukumba kwa muda mrefu linaelekea kukuisha.
With only 26 kilometers of road to reconstruct and with 15 months down the drain, locals without a doubt expected to be using part of the road by now. Yet, along the stretch of the road, you find young boys out of school filling the potholes, hoping to make money from the desperate road users.
Barabara yenyewe ambayo wametengeneza haifiki hata robo kilomita, ambayo wameweka lami haifiki hata robo kilomita, na hata hiyo lami yenyewe walioweka wanasema bado ni lami ya majaribio. Sasa tunashindwa ni vipi wanaweka lami ya majaribio kwenye barabara ambayo tunatarajia iwekwe lami tuitumie.
Tunafanya biashara ya ndizi. Si barabara ya huko ndani kwa ndizi, si barabara kubwa, unakuja na lori na ndizi zinaharibikia njiani. Kama mimi saa hii nimekuja na lori, nikifika hapo njiani likaharibika, ikanibidi niombe lifti kwa gari ndogo.
But she's not the only one. We find many stranded on the road, their vehicles having broken down. These ones were on their way to Mombasa transporting 100 bags of maize.
Imefunja dipu yenyewe shida ni bearing. Sababu ya corrugation imeleta hiyo shida ya dip.
Kila wakati hiyo gari ni kukata maspring, fuja bearing, hakuna kazi tunaendeleza hapa.
The road serves farmers from Taveta and businessmen across Tanzania.
Kwa Kikwete kuko sawa kabisa.
Huko pande wa Tanzania barabara nzuri.
Barabara ukivuka custom ndio unaanza na shida kuja Kenya, lakini kutoka huko ni swara kabisa.
But it's not exclusive to businessmen. Tourists use the road to access the Tsavo National Park, and the effects of the bad road are already being felt.
We've had actually bookings cancelled after an individual has called and tried to find out what is the state of the road. And if the road is told the road has not been repaired, they actually cancel.
The residents are now demanding that the contract awarded to Kundan Singh be terminated immediately.
This is not moving. They've got another, what I understand, 10 more months. That work is not to be completed within 10 months.
Esther Kahumbi, in Taita.
We'll now take a short break. Stay with KTN Live at 1.
the crosses and everything, and still play real basketball. That's the main thing.
I think the chick should include the boyfriend, sababu these things zimekuwa such a major issue in our society, so ndo mkuje to a conclusion so that hata kuwa na complication or anything, at least you are the two of you, itakuwa mtu mmoja.
I think the girl should involve the boyfriend in the decision. He's the one who will back up the financial needs. So in case they don't, she wants to use contraceptives to prevent her from getting pregnant, he should know.
I think you should involve your guy in case of as in any future complications, stress and vituka hizo.
Miss World Kenya. One crown, one winner. Join the exciting search to find the girl with the looks, the sophistication, and the dazzling personality to become the new Miss World Kenya 2012. Follow their journey by watching KTN on Saturday, May the 5th at 8:30 p.m. Miss World Kenya 2012.
My stories, my issues, my county. County Weekly. It's new, it's fresh, it's relevant. Get your copy today.
Welcome back to KTN Live at 1. The inaugural annual Media Awards by the Media Council of Kenya was held last night. The event saw various Kenyan journalists featured for their work. It was a good night for KTN's Mohamed Ali and Lulu Hassan, who were honored, as well as standard newspaper journalists were also featured at the event.
Pomp and color characterized the award ceremony, which coincided with the World's Press Freedom Day. Among those awarded for their exemplary work in the media were KTN's Mohamed Ali and Lulu Hassan.
And the winner is Mohamed Ali.
Senior investigative editor Mohamed Ali was honored with the overall Journalist of the Year Award and Reporter of the Year Award for his contribution in the field of investigative journalism.
Of course, if you remember, she did a brilliant story for a detailed report on the
KTN senior news anchor Lulu Hassan and cameraman Moses Bayer were given the Arts, Culture and Travel Award for their outstanding story dubbed Kiza Cha Starehe, which exposed married coastal men who are in relationships with white tourist women for economic gain.
Today, to all my fellow journalists, I don't want you to be me. I want you to be better than I am. Thank you very much.
Standard Newspapers photojournalist Collins Kweyu took the Photographer of the Year Award. Nicholas Anwar won the Arts, Culture and Travel Award. Joe Kiario was given the Children and Youth Affairs Award, while Naivasha-based Anthony Gitonga won the ICT and Telecommunications Award. This was a clear testimony that the Standard Group is dedicated to the pursuit of public interest and bringing you the very best.
I must commend our journalists for their boldness and courage. I don't know whether Muhammad Ali and John Allen Nam were here, but the kind of stuff they did, I mean, Jicho Pevu, and you know, that I think has no match in the world.
In total, there were 700 entries for the awards, but only 25 of the entrants were shortlisted for the awards in the 18 different categories.
Indeed, congratulations to all the Standard Group winners and all the winners in general at the Media Council Awards. To the international scene, Egypt's ruling military council has imposed an overnight curfew in the area around the defense ministry in Cairo after one soldier was reportedly killed and hundreds wounded in clashes. Soldiers used water cannons and tear gas against protesters. Dozens of people were arrested. Protesters later dispersed and some joined a protest in Tahrir Square on Wednesday. Unidentified assailants attacked protesters outside the ministry, leaving at least 20 dead. The protesters, who were demonstrating against the ruling Supreme Council of the Armed Forces, have accused the government of orchestrating the attack. They tried to break through a protective ring of barbed wire, and soldiers responded with water cannons and tear gas. Both sides threw rocks during the clashes that lasted several hours. Later, the health ministry said a soldier had been killed and about 300 people wounded. It says about 130 were treated in hospital. Well, and that's all for KTN Live at 1. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be having our sports show coming up in a little while, so stay with KTN.